welcome to episode number 102.
Let's go.
Start off with the earliest contribution by a guest.
Immediately.
Anyway, welcome to episode number 102 of On a Personal Note with Adarsh Sakare. On 101, we had Harsha and Guru. Absolutely wonderful episode. Right away when we saw the work that they were doing, we reached out, and Deepika was of course helpful, and in fact even today is happening because of Deepika.
She's like your coordinator, artist agent, artist manager.
Not just for me, bro, like
a lot of people.
For a lot of people, right? So right away, Deepika, thanks for putting us in touch. It's been brilliant. There's this excitement that we have post 100, and it's been continuing with your support. So thanks for that. Today we have another special guest. I think we've already shown him, but hi Amit, welcome to the studio.
Hi. Were you supposed to show me later or something? And my voice came out in between.
I have a habit, but it's okay. So
yes, sir.
Welcome,
yes,
sir. Welcome, Amit.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome to the studio. Amit Pawar.
Amit Pawar. Pawar. P-A-W-A-R. Pawar.
Amit Pawar is here, and I think when Deepika told me about Amit, the first thing she said was he's a very nice person. Usually people will talk about profession and this and that, which is great, but it actually comes down to who the person is, right? Like how do you know this person personally? And when I went through your profile, it was clear for me that you are surely not making cringe content.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
There is no cringe content, and I was very happy.
That's such a big compliment.
Yeah, it is. In the times that we live, right? Even if you don't want to make it, people are making it.
Yeah.
So glad you've stayed away from that.
Absolutely.
He's built a very credible career at Radio Mirchi. It's surely not easy. We all know the pros and cons of being part of a radio station, especially today. It takes you almost a mountain of effort to not only remain relevant, but really advance your career, right? Because Amit also belongs to this group of people who genuinely loves the art form. Right, who genuinely loves what radio is about and where it started and what it feels like to enter that space, of RJ and have that voice, connect with people, produce the show up front, see the responses. That's an art form in itself. And I was just speaking to him even before the shoot that, amidst all this, now he's spending time on making content and speaking to brands. And I mean, y'all must have seen enough of his videos walking around the streets of Bangalore, spreading awareness on road safety and other social issues, right? Which is amazing. Again, there's genuine, I would say, intent there, and it's hilarious, bro. Those videos, I think that's where I had seen you actually first. When
those videos got pretty viral also.
Those road safety things,
it was fun.
That vibe, your attire, your friend's attire, bro. Like,
it was so much fun.
I would love to, I wish I was part of that.
Oh, for sure. So the thing is, we it's too funny. So I reached out to the traffic police. I met the commissioner and all of that, and he's like, "What do you want to do?" I was like, I just lost a friend recently for a road accident, and then January is known for Road Safety Month. Ironically, the highest number of accidents happened in January this year, and so I lost a friend as well in Jan itself. So I wanted to do something for this, and I was like, I know I've already done helmet campaigns. I've gone on the roads, given new helmets and all of that. Didn't work. Okay, it's a good cause and all of that. It has to reach people anyway. That idea has to reach. So I was like, let me take humor as a medium. And so I reached out to this friend of mine who's a theater artist. And so he was like, okay, I'll do Yama and all of that. And so now we went to a costume shop. Go to Yamaraja. It's like one proper natkad costume shop. So we checked, we figured out. So this guy wore it. But it has like some fancy, rings. And it pokes you inside. And you can't wear that outfit for more than an hour at least. It's more like a school day, annual day function ge ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ತರ ಅದು, or one drama or something, an hour or something. And so this guy wore it for like 2 full days, like 2 entire days. We were out on different like signals like Silk Board, Hebbal, various town hall and Indranagar signal. So many other signals were there. And so this guy actually wore it. It was crazy. It was madness just seeing the response. Some people were actually happy and they got excited. They started laughing. Some people got offended and all of that. It was crazy. The amount of people we met, the stories, even with the cops on the road, they were so helpful. Like traffic cops alla sikkavade khushiyage, they were a part of this. It was amazing. It was amazing doing it. And the idea was digital itself for me. 2 days I went on the roads and I pushed people to wear full helmets. And then this was on a digital campaign as well. So this went on social media, alli viral aito, and that was the whole idea. So that they remember, okay, Yamaraja is a dark person, dude. You wouldn't want to see Yamaraja on the road. And so just Yamaraja coming to you and telling it to you in a very nice way, in a very humorous way, saying, hey, wear helmets. That people remember at least.
That's what made it...
First step is just, you'll remember that, and that'll be enough. Next time when he's picking up his helmet and also we caught one guy in town hall and so this guy was wearing a half helmet and all. He's 22 years old. So Yamaraja was like, I'll give you 22 hours. If you don't wear a good helmet, I'm going to take you with me. Otherwise I'll sit behind you. Come, let's go. And all full psych madbutwe. And so then so later in the comments, when this video was out, comments alle, that guy, whoever was there, his friends saw him. Nodbitu, they've tagged him on the comments. Ironically, this guy has a helmet shop. Alle, pakadalle, town hall pakadalle. And his friends tagged him saying, you have a helmet store and you were wearing a half helmet. And he had to apologize to his friends and he had to explain saying, hey, no, I was just around and adonde helmet ididdu and all. It was very embarrassing for him when I saw the comments. But I'm really glad there are many stories like this because it's reached millions of people. And so I'm glad like small stories like this has happened. So
I mean, intent was impact.
Oh, definitely. I think generally when the intent is 90%, impact is around 70%. In the Yamaraja campaign, for the first time, I was surprised. I was blown away that when intent itself was around 70%, impact was around 90-95%. It reached a lot of people than I thought. So that is amazing. That is really cool. And I'm super proud about it. Like one thing I'd want to flex about.
Kudos, man. Kudos to the team that made that happen.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's an initiative. All of us, even here, me and Aditya, have had our own set of accidents on two-wheelers and whatnot. And we know enough people. So thanks to you and the team for doing that.
Definitely.
So you must have seen him in these videos or any other campaigns, or of course his humorous content for sure you would have come across. But if you know Amit, I definitely can tell you that this is an opportunity for you to know him a little better than what you already do. If you don't know Amit and you've just watched his content, then here's a chance. Hit him up or watch this episode.
Yes, please watch this episode. Finish this episode on YouTube, then hit me up.
And then hit you up. So Amit, how's life?
Life is good. Life's great. Lot of ups and downs, but it's great. The journey is just great. I very recently started appreciating life. Saying who left me? On Mungaru Male story. But illa. So I think when I started realizing that, okay, I can feel anxious. I can feel different things. I started feeling these things more and I went down one rabbit hole. And literally anything makes you feel anxious, alva. Like it could be your personal life, it could be your work life. Anxiety is everywhere. And the minute I realized this, I was like, okay, I'm stuck. I took a very long while figuring out where I stand mentally. And so very recently I figured that out, and I haven't figured it out, but I'm still in the process, and I'm somewhere very aware of what I am going through. And it's a mixture of good and bad anyway, which is life, which is what I've accepted ega. Munche, it was always one end destination, end goal, happiness. So you'll always be happy and all. Happiness is a part of your journey, no?
Yeah.
So that's what I realized very recently. So otherwise life's good. What
kicked it off though? Like I can maybe add in here, right? If you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
I mean, maybe 2-3 times in my life I've gone into a phase where I know my mental health isn't up there. There are things happening to me physically that I've not seen before, right? So it starts with a mental thing, and then eventually it shows up in how your body is responding and this and that. I think early triggers for me was when I wasn't earning enough. When I was just a freelancer and things like that, I wasn't earning enough, and I would see my friends have like full-time jobs doing well, and I knew at that point I can't take up a job because of the type of path that I want to go on.
Right.
So I'd wake up in the morning, and on the days when I didn't have work, I'd be scared to even wake up, because I know as soon as I wake up, there's nothing to do in that day, and I would spend hours on the couch just shivering, like, and no one would be at home. Everyone's out for work. I would like literally be in shivers. I had to do like multiple things to distract my mind, this and that. And went on for months before things stabilized, started earning here and there and whatever. And one of the worst memories that I can have. So what was your trigger that, I mean, if you don't mind.
I would also call this a ladder in a way, because it makes you very aware of what you go through ahead. Like the next time we go through a rabbit hole like that in life, we are at least aware on how to take care of it and who do we need around us and stuff like that. My trigger was, one is the industry I work in. There's so much competition. There's so many artists around us. All good artists, we all appreciate them, but again, your growth also matters eventually. The idea is for all of us to grow together. Everyone grows and you don't grow in between. That was a very big trigger for me. I was like, yo, what am I doing? Am I giving enough? What happened to me? Like, especially with content on social media, some of your videos do well, some of your videos don't do well. But it's crazy how sometimes your mental health or what you prioritize depends on how much people see and how much people prioritize. And like, I put out a really nice video, really funny video, doesn't work. I put out some random video hakadre, people start loving it, they start sharing it and all of that. That doesn't judge my content at all. So I took a while to figure this out, not just with Instagram content, with my radio show as well, and with me as a personality in public as well. That if people love something, it's shared more, maybe a side of them likes it or something, but that doesn't judge the kind of artist I am. So that was a huge trigger for me on radio as well. The acceptance of just this, that it's okay to just be you and the kind of content you put out. Like earlier when I started doing content, there was this hunger in me that I want to, put out this kind of content. I grew up watching AIB, TVF, and that was the era I grew up in, and I've always loved creating content ever since that. And so eventually at one point of time, when you're an artist, sometime you start doing content for people, which is not for you. And when you realize that, when you start doing things for people, and after one point of time adu work agalla, adu ninto bidutte, and then you're like, okay, I have nothing in life now, what do I do?
And you've also forgotten who I am.
So that happened to me. Wow, I completely forgot who I am. And so that was a major renaissance in my head. And then I figured things out. It was a little downhill, but it's better, much better.
How old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 27.
27. And the reason I ask that is people say these things can happen only when you're younger. It's not. It can happen at any time.
Oh, I've struggled convincing my dad to go talk to a therapist because of medical conditions. He was also pretty low, and he was like, "What counseling I'll need? What I've seen life and all of that." I'm like, "No, it doesn't work like that. You need professional help also." So for them to realize it takes a very long while.
That's a different conversation. Coming back to the content thing, right? I think this is something. I'm glad that you have at least realized it and accepted it, and you're on the path to getting out of some of these things, right? It doesn't fully go away.
I think at this point, my priorities have also changed. That's the best part of this realization. Before it was always, I want to make it there, I want to be successful. Then I realized successful antenalla. You reach there, it's a checkpoint. And then you want more eventually, and that is a side graph that will keep going. Main idea is your own life. What are you doing with your own life? what I am doing with my own life doesn't mean my career. It's just life, how I'm dealing with things in everyday life. And so when you realize that, you will focus more on this, and that is a product of it. Ashta. Your career is a product of how you handle your own life. So it's crazy. Yeah.
And to judge yourself on how your video did is probably like the most like lowest way to judge yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a platform where it's not just about how good your video is or how talented you are. It's about algorithms, it's about followers.
Oh, for sure.
There's a science behind it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really judge. Like, you will know, like, there are videos of yours that really show your talent.
Yeah.
But it hasn't reached people because of the algorithm.
I feel the amount of people going through mental health issues because of creating content creators going through mental issues on one side. The other side, there's Mark Zuckerberg just sitting and he's like, algorithm. Such is yeah. And it's not your content, it's Mark Zuckerberg's algorithm.
It's not you, it's not your talent.
Yeah, I really want Mark Zuckerberg to come out someday and tell, listen, it's not you, it's actually Instagram algorithm, you're a good creator. But here's a fun example actually. When I started doing my radio show, I used to do the afternoon show. I go with the moniker Area Boy anta avaga.
Area Boy, gottu.
Yeah, so that is a moniker. Yeah, so that's been that went on for a while, and 98.3 in Bangalore and 104.8 in Mysore. I used to do these afternoon shows. There was this one guy who texted me on Instagram saying, "Yen guru nin show ante kante anta." So I was like, what does that mean? I was like, ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಬಸ್ ಶೋ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? I actually texted him saying, show ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ? He's like, definitely ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಗುರು, ತುಂಬ ಕೆಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ show. And I felt too bad immediately. I was new alwa, so that was my second month.
It would have really crushed you.
Yeah. And so he's taken enough effort to type it and send it to me. Andre, you can just tune it off and go to another station. But he's taken an effort. Andre, I felt
tell you that you're not good.
Very sad. This is the new world though. But yeah, it's a casual effort. But so when he sent this to me, I was very sad and I was actually angry, and then I was like, actually, you know what, let go. I just responded saying, it's okay sir, I'm also learning, ಒಂದಲ್ಲ ಒಂದಿನ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ and all of that. This happened somewhere in March or something. Cut to April, May, June, 3 months later. Hi Bossu, namaskara, he said, sent on Instagram. And now because I say Bossu a lot of times while I speak on air, he's like, hi Bossu, namaskara. I was like, hi sir, ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. I was like, oh, ಶೋ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತಾ? He's like, ಸರ್ ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶೋ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, I love your show, I love how it's going and all of that. And then a 3 months transition ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, that played a major role on my mental health. I was like, oh, I am not enough maybe. Like, ನಾನು ಸರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, like I'll have to improve so much, maybe what I'm doing is not enough. It put me through a lot of stuff. Like, the thing is, ಅವನಿಗೆ it's 5 minutes of his day. He just sent a text, that's all. For me, it's 3 months. And then he got back to me, and that's when I realized, no, it doesn't matter. You will anyway grow. This is part and parcel of it. What people like, people don't like. People like you someday they won't like you. Again, they'll come back saying they'll like you. But you shouldn't be judging yourself on how people like you or don't like you and stuff like that. So I think that was a great example for me to actually not give a damn about comments or what messages and all. Constructive feedback is great. Constructive criticism is great.
You need to understand whom to keep where also, no? And how much to take from what. Because you'll eventually learn what are intentions of
At this point in life, I actually read comments and hate messages, everything I read. And when I read hate messages, I also see if it actually makes sense. If I'll have to change something in that.
Try to see, is there something here that actually can make it work?
And
if there's nothing,
the 90% of times it's nothing. 90% of times you're just dealing with their aggression in life. He's had a hectic, tough day, and he comes out on social media. He wants to abuse someone. He's on your comment list. He'll abuse you, and he'll go off. He feels better. He'll go off. You will be like, "Ayyo, nan melela hing baid bitralla. Ayyo, yaake nan intavna, nan kettavna antalla." All these thoughts and all. So it's like a chain of negativity. It goes like that. So you got to be very careful. There is a line.
Yeah. When it's also this, right? When you are pursuing an art form. You also need to accept that you have chosen it.
Yeah.
And you have basically put yourself out there saying that, judge me.
Yeah.
I'm putting my work, judge me. If you put up an art exhibition, say of paintings, you're saying, come in, have a look.
Yeah.
If you don't
Absolutely.
like it, then
Absolutely. The idea of art itself is to bring perspectives out.
yeah.
So
You can't even say, hey, boss, you're not allowed to.
exactly.
You're on public platform, boss.
Yeah,
If you have the balls to come and show your work, then it comes as a byproduct.
Yeah. I
That
think
is also
in like 4 or 5 years of whatever I've done so far, I've realized one thing, that when you get good and bad on whatever artwork that you put out, when you get good and bad comments, is only when you're doing well. It's when it's only great. I don't know. It's pretty sus when it's only good comments.
that's
or when
usually your friends.
your friends. Yeah. Like, share, comment, please subscribe. Yeah. So all of that. But
You need it.
Yeah.
So here's what had happened once. So again, I was going through a rough patch of not only personal things, but even the podcast wasn't like really picking up. Like video mele 600 views barta hai, 700 views barta hai. Reel mele 700 views barta hai, boss, and it's like real good content, like edited. Maybe I've put in like an hour of work into just making that little piece of content. And then we shot with a certain someone, won't take the name. Great episode. Okay, like when I say great episode, like energy, right? When you've made some good content,
Right.
you make some good content and it's done, and I'm like, now I'm fucking back. Like now I'm feeling it. I know this is why I started it, all of that. And now also realize that I'm already in a bad place in my mind, right? I need something to hang on to. The person decides, and the episode comes out, the person decides not to share it at all.
Okay.
So there is no
Traction.
mention. No, like, yeah, exactly.
There's
traction,
no-
buddy. Where's the respect? Right? More than anything, on social media, of course, there are different levels of collaboration now. Everyone does different.
Yeah.
Where you belong to, depending on that, they'll mention you in certain number of stories, idu, adu, whatever. I'm saying basic respect also was not there. That is how bad it turned out after having a great episode. So second level, I'm fucked. That same night, one person messages, bro, why are you even doing this? That person didn't even share your video, bro. So that night broke me so much. But now I mean, why was this person so bothered?
Right.
Yes, this person has done something. Yes, this person didn't share my interview, whatever it is. But why are you killing me with it? Why are you bringing it out like you have achieved something already in your life?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe this is a rejection. Maybe I've done. I know, first of all, whoever that person was, that person knows that she or he is a bitch of the first order. Okay, 100%. But at that point, you don't think of it like that. You think something's wrong with you.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I know that person is a bitch. But at that point, you're like questioning yourself. And then this person is telling me, didn't even get share. What? Boss, the way I went into a rabbit hole that night, everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, boy, I think I've just wasted all this money and time for nothing. This was probably like early, like way early, maybe in the first few, maybe in the first quarter of 100. Let me give that range so that it doesn't become obvious. But again, right, what kept working was the belief that no, I'm doing this out of a lot of awareness as well.
Right.
So I developed a skill. I've worked on it. I've honed it for these years. I've got credibility also. Not that people haven't appreciated me. So let me keep that. I'll leave this aside. But that is so hard, Amit.
It is. It absolutely
not
is.
easy.
Yeah. And with people also telling you about like these numbers, shares, likes, comments, and all, it's just very annoying, very toxic space. Focus is content, great content, put it out, let it go, and then put it out again, let it go, and just keep doing that again and again. Madhyadalli one content will do really well. It'll cross 1 million. Other videos and all, couple of people will see. Again, then couple of videos will do well. Again, you'll go down. This is the game. We have to. The minute we started monetizing content or we started involving brands, the minute we started being very serious about content, we have to accept this also as a part of our game. My job, my office can just fire me someday. Like, Kelsa Allah, we are doing bad and they can just fire me. I've accepted that as well. It's similar on Instagram for creators. someday you'll just be fired. But the best part about Instagram is you can come back. Always with better content.
Yeah.
That person's a bitch, but can get like someone else and there'll be better content and stuff like that.
Anyway, enough about content. I want to know you.
Yes,
I've
sir.
never met you. I've been exposed to your content only because of Deepika, and like I said, I saw your campaign videos at the point.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to, because that's the podcast, right? On a personal note with Amit.
Yes, sir.
So where did it start, Amit? You studied here?
I studied here itself, Bengaluru ಓದಿದ್ದು. I studied in Dayanand Sagar. I did my commerce in Dayanand Sagar. And then during my college days itself, I started doing theatre side by side. And Kannada theatre ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. And ICSE ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದ್ದು. And
you know Sudarshan Rangaprasad?
From Carmel, you're saying?
No, from theatre, Kannada theatre. He's done Sangeeta Bhatt's husband.
Yeah, of course. He was on your show.
Yeah.
I
So
know.
he spoke a lot
I've
about
seen
Kannada theatre and
Oh, amazing.
how much he had love for it. And that's
Amazing.
why I thought.
Very amateur, very new I was when I eventually joined in the theatre space. I studied in school with like, generally if you are in a school, ICSE school and all, it's mostly English. The school I studied in, they were like, no, what is this English? Kamal school. Full like, oh my God, I'm exposing but mostly English ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ I'm from here and then subconsciously I know all words in Kannada but when I couldn't make up a sentence in Kannada back in the day ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ and then when I joined theatre that was a huge wake up call for me. I couldn't read scripts properly. I was very embarrassing and they were like, where are you from and all that. Bengaluru. Kannada ಬರಲ್ವಾ? I'm like, ಇಲ್ಲ, like they were like, did you study Kannada? I was like, yeah. And then they were like, okay, never mind. They didn't, it wasn't an aggressive conversation. It was a normal conversation. And then I realized, I was like, okay, let me just invest in this language and see what I can learn. And the gains were amazing. Such a beautiful language. And when I see, sorry to just divert this conversation, I'm just going to quickly, when I see people going aggressive about the language and some people are like, no, these people treat us in a way like Kannada matadi anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. On the other hand, there are people who are like, illa ನೀನು Kannada ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು and all of that. Even people who are very aggressive, the only thing is tell them about the language in a nice way. Like you don't have to force them. Just tell them, hey, this language is actually beautiful. How do you bring up Kannada in a very normal conversation when you're having a casual conversation with someone and you want to talk to them about Kannada? Bring up about some literature in Kannada or something that you've seen in Kannada. Like I talk about movies to my friends who don't know Kannada. I talk about ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಸಿನಿಮಾಗಳು, ಒಳ್ಳೊಳ್ಳೆ ಸಿನಿಮಾಗಳು. Like there's this one movie called ಗೋಧಿ ಬಣ್ಣ ಸಾಧಾರಣವಾಗಿ ಕಟ್ಟು, made by Hemant Rao. Beautiful cinema. And so I bring up that cinema, I talk about the album, and then sometimes I bring up songs, Kannada songs, and I explain the lyrics, the meaning and all of that. So use different mediums to, we are not trying to promote the language. Language is already there. But it's just people have to know about the language. Just make them aware. You don't have to be like, no, you learn Kannada. Rarely go and learn. How will he learn? You tell him how, in a very nice way, in a very sweet way, in a very warm way. Tell him about culture, like tell him about what is happening, the movies, everything in his own way. And it is not a propaganda. It is not an agenda saying, oh no, you have to learn and all of that. In just a very sweet way. Like probably you like a band, you like Pink Floyd and you want your friend to listen to Pink Floyd and you talk about Pink Floyd. Athara. You love the language, you talk nice things about the language and tell them where they can learn. I have a lot of North Indian friends who actually speak Kannada, speak good Kannada, and they watch like Kannada movies and all of that. I make playlists sometimes. Spotify, I make playlists and all. Wow. And I send Kannada this thing to them.
You're a friend, boss.
Yeah. I invest in friendship.
ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಓದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಕಾಯ್ತಂತ.
But understanding Kannada is also different. No, if you're a North Indian and someone is abusing you in the comments in Kannada and all of that, those abuses also very difficult to understand. That English Kannada ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ. But I think in a very nice way ನಾವುಗಳು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೋದು, saying how beautiful the language is and all of that. Leaving that apart, I came back to theater. I joined theater, and I realized the value of the language and what I could do in this language and all of that. And so eventually, I started hosting events. College, Dayanand Sagar College is known for like fests and all of that stuff. There's a massive auditorium there, and so I would host events. And a couple of people noticed me in those college events. They were like, "Hey, we have an event that's happening. It's an international summit. Would you want to host?" And that was my first ever event outside professionally. 4 days. Every day, per day, I got paid 4K. That's 4 days, 16K is a big deal for me in college. Yeah. Blast money. Friends nala karkono but oh, I have no idea. So that's after game. But yeah, before that, like so.
4K is very big, boss. Yeah. 2, 2.5, 3, 4 is like I'm happy making it.
Yeah, and it was also fun. I got to network with a lot of people. So I did that event and all of that. Then I realized, okay, I can make a portfolio. I can also host events and that. So I started live events alongside theater. And then eventually stand-up was there was this fever of stand-up happening. How the stand-up I try ಮಾಡಿದೆ. I tried, failed and all, but yeah, it's
you like, I mean, you fit it.
Yeah,
there is no doubt illa nange.
The art of delivery is amazing. Like, I've been learning this. It's never ending. Like,
do you still attempt? I mean, or have you put that on a hold right now?
I've converted most of my stand-up scripts into Instagram reels content mostly. So I'm trying to do that, and then I can probably get back or something. That also requires time. I did a lot of open mics back in the day in Bangalore.
How did that go?
Oh, it went great. Back in the day in Bangalore, we had like nice places like Humming Tree was there, and B Flat ittu. Humming Tree nalli a lot of good open mics would happen, and then I would host these open mics. I was close to them, and then there was this comedy club that opened up in between. It was called That Comedy Club anta. Koramangala nalle avagiddantaha Sherlock's mail ittu That Comedy Club.
First floor.
Yeah.
Stairs you climb up, closed room.
So that circuit of comics and all of the very fun people to hang out with. There's so much to learn and all of that. So I remember I went to That Comedy Club. I did a open mic this one time, and I was pretty depressed that phase of life. And then I was like, I know
because of the turnout
antala in general with life, with a couple of things that had happened already. I had no friends, and I was like, okay, I have jokes right now. I wrote a few jokes, and avattu open mic ittu. You'll have to register for the open mic. I registered. I took my Activa. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ open mic ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು register ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. And then my third joke or something.
On your first open mic?
Yeah. On my... No, this was like a third open mic or something. Okay. First open mic already happened. First open mic was a bomb. It bombed.
Really?
Yeah. It bombed. Like, couple of people liked... A couple of jokes worked out.
Yes,
and the rest of them... I tried it in college. The first ever open mic. Yeah. How with that crowd and all. Workout agilla. Then I tried it in a club also. In Humming Tree I tried. It didn't work out. Couple of people laughed, and here and there chuckles, but ashtu workout agilla. And that you will have to give it to the stand-up comics to fucking go to an open mic stand and boldly deliver that joke, and nobody's laughing, and you're just like, okay. Anyways, so, and they pick up their next this thing. Oh, those 3-4 seconds is amazing.
The hardest.
Yeah. It's just moment.
Like, you gotta keep your smile up as well.
Yeah. And
you can't look like you bombed.
Yeah. And that's like, it's such a metaphor to Instagram content these days, because there are jokes that I had written which I actually found very funny. I was like, these jokes are very funny. And those are the jokes they never laugh. So, anyways, I did all these open mics, and there was this one time, when I went to That Comedy Club, I was doing this open mic. It was a very tough time in life. English ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಫೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ hadn't completely evolved back then.
Lohan Live, all of that
hadn't evolved completely back then. It was mostly your Pranesh, Mimicry Dayanand. So the old school set of and that comedy is different.
Yeah.
The new age stand-up comedy is different. New age stand-up comics in Kannada have open mics today. That's amazing. That's so cool. I'd want to try that ahead. Tarley Box ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಇದೆ, Pawan Venugopal and all of these guys who are on.
ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
So that one also.
Pawan Venugopal, Vinayak Joshi.
Yeah, all these guys. So there is another group, and there are multiple groups like that. So that's amazing. So this one open mic, I remember there was some joke ಏನೋ ಕ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಸೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರೊಬ್ರು ವಯಸ್ಸಾಗಿರೋರು ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೈ ಜೋಕ್ ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್. ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಲಾಫಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ joke. He's right here, right in front of me. It was very intimate open mic. He was right there. He lost it. And I just looked at him for like 2-3 seconds and things changed in life. I was like, wow, content, what you write can impact people so much and all. I don't know if he actually laughed at my joke. Gothilla. Laughed for my joke, sorry. Or at my joke. I don't know. And so that made so much difference. And I finished that open mic and I was just walking down. People clapped and all. They were like, nice, nice and all. I was walking down. And then I saw Kanan Gill get up from the audience seat and he just walked out. I was like, fuck, Kanan Gill saw my set. I was like, this is amazing and all of that. I'd want to tell people Kanan Gill saw my set, but there's no proof ಇಲ್ಲ ನಂಬಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು. ಸೊ ಕನನ್ ಗಿಲ್ ನಂಬಲ್ಲ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಅವನು ಕನನ್ ಗಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಾಂಟ್ ನೋ ಯಾರು ಗುರು ನೀನು ಅಂತ. ಕನನ್ ಗಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ನೋ. ಸೊ ಸೊ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ the stand-up went on for a bit and then eventually a couple of people told me, why don't you try radio and all. Side by side from my childhood I've always been listening to radio ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದ್ದೆ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಸೆಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್. ಫ್ರಮ್ ಲೈಕ್ ವೆರಿ ಯಂಗ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಐ ಲವ್ ದಟ್ ಹೋಲ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಟೇಪ್ ಎರಾ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್. ಅದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈ ಮಮ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮೀ ಟು ಅಮೇಝಿಂಗ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ರಫಿ ಟು ಕಿಶೋರ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಟು AR Rahman, Mani Ratnam's music and that era of music basically. And so I grew up to Alai Payude and like good stuff. And so here's a fun story about Alai Payude. I'm sorry, I'm little diverting ಈ ಕಡೆ side again. So
Ninde show boss. You think I'll stop you?
This is what I do for a living now.
You have sat there very rarely.
Yeah.
I'm here to listen.
Actually, oh yeah, that's true. Sat here very rarely. Today is my day.
Yeah.
So Alai Payude, there is this one song called Pachai Nirame, which is also called Sathiya in Hindi. Sathiya. So that one song, Pachai Nirame is one song. My mom would play it. Naan malkondidantaha room alli. When I was a kid, I used to sleep in this room and there's radio also there. And so my mom would put the cassette, play it there, and she would just walk around work and all of that. And so first time I ever heard Pachai Nirame was in a dream. So when I was a kid, radio was very close to me, and my mom I guess didn't care. She's like, it's okay, let me play radio anyway. I am going to have a tough day. So she has played the radio and I've passed out proper kansalli ahadu. The thing is, when you're in deep sleep and when you are in a dream or whatever, and when some sound passes by, that sound is a part of your dream world also. At least it's worked with me. If there is some sound around, that sound becomes a part of my dream, unless it's very loud and they wake you up and all of that. Right. So it's a very melody sound and all. And so couple of days when she played Alai Payude, Pachai Nirame ran in my dream. And the third day when I heard it on radio, on the cassette, I was like, oh shit, this is an actual song. I thought I composed this in my head. This beautiful piece what Rahman has worked so hard for, I composed it
in your dream.
I was like, yeah. So that's how I got introduced to Alai Payude, and my mom introduced me to radio as well. She used to listen to a lot of radio stations. I used to take my mom's phone, and back in those days, I think people still do. You connect your earphones, you connect to radio there, and then you put on your earphones and you walk around. And so I used to go to my terrace. I used to keep the phone with me. I used to listen to radio, and then I used to participate in all these contests and all. I used to participate. I used to go to the station, win, and meet my favorite RJs and all.
You actually won these things.
Yeah. I won like prizes, vouchers and all. I won
a lot, boss. Once.
Howda? Connect agalla antana? Lines connect agalla.
Illa. I don't know. I never got call back, or I don't know what I never won a prize, boss.
On radio.
Never called me. Now I'll do it. Now I know you know.
Just call me directly. My number you call.
Yeah. At least for that reason.
Yeah. So I've been to radio stations and I've seen what goes inside and all of that. Always a fan of radio. And cut to after the whole stand-up and anchoring scene and all of that, people suggested, why don't you try radio? But I did try radio a couple of times and I got rejected, brutally rejected. I tried for this Bollywood station, and apparently my English has a South Indian accent. That was the reason they gave. I was like, what do you expect? We are in Bangalore. like gain English accent. This is a Bollywood station. It's not even an English international station.
I don't think there's a South Indian English accent. I think there is.
Which the Bollywood guys have made it in movies.
Yeah.
Yanna rascal. That's how they see me or what?
We
So I
don't
was
fucking speak like that.
Yeah.
Like this is, I've also got this. You have a very South Indian English accent. I'm like, bro.
Yeah,
maybe the lingo, maybe words vocabulary might be different. Anyway.
there is, especially from what I know, in Bangalore, we don't have. Actually, no, we do. A lot of people have the language, the regional language influence on this thing. Like Kannada mathadodu, they have like I think that's what Danish banged down. Why not and all of that stuff like that. And even Malayalis have an influence. Tamil people have an influence. So all of that is there. But
we are some of those people who got averaged out.
Yeah.
We have a culmination of everything.
Oh, absolutely. Not like North Indians don't have, like all of them having influence of their own regional languages in English. But I actually didn't. And I know it. I'm very aware of it. If I did, I would probably make fun of myself. No, I didn't actually. And so it didn't work out, and I got rejected twice. And I was like, okay, fuck it, why not? And then I moved to another station, and then I was like, I want to become an RJ. And they were like, RJ alagalla, internship bekare maadu. Sorry, okay, ಎಷ್ಟು ಏನು internship, ಎಷ್ಟು like how much will I get paid, stipend ಏನಾದ್ರು, stipend ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, unpaid internship daily ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Some up and down 25 kilometers from my place. And so I was like, okay, fine, ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. I want to grow, ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. I'll do this and all. So I joined a Bollywood station only. It was half Bollywood, and there is also an international station. Like there are two stations in the same place. And so I joined this place, and then I got to learn a lot of things. Unpaid internship, but the exposure is high. Yeah, we were talking about this. Internship under the exposure first. You get paid. So... So yeah.
I mean, it works also. See, this is what I believe, right? I mean, this is a story every person who's pursued being an RJ knows. It starts with the internship. And you get exposure, and then. But if you want to get into it, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
You'll do it anyway, and they'll see the talent. If you have it, they'll see it.
That's what I keep when people text me saying, "Boss, I want to become RJ. Sir, I want to become RJ. Sir, I speak really well. My colleagues like me. I want to become RJ." I'm like, just do internship in the beginning. Internship ಮಾಡಿ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ see if you really want radio, if radio is your cup of tea. The first time I told my mom I want to work for a radio station, she's like, radio okay, but full time ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ, ಜಾಬ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ? I was like, ma, this is a full time job. And then it took a while for me to convince her, because it was also an unpaid internship, alva, up and down, and I used to take pocket money from home. And so they didn't trust radio. They still didn't trust radio. They love radio. ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ, it doesn't pay you. What's the whole point ಅಂತ. So eventually for like 6 months ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಎಲ್ಲೂ I got rejected multiple times. Like North India stations ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಮುಂಬೈ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, in Chennai I applied. None of these. I was ready to move and all for like a radio job. ಅಲ್ಲೇ PG ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು I'll become an RJ and all of that. I was ready to do all of that. Yeah. Madness actually. That hunger, no, it's like I remember this when I used to do my unpaid internship. There's this one day I launched a mail to so many people, and then yellu response bandilla, and then I remember it's like 1.5 hour ride back home. So I'm on my way, and avaga I used to listen to music listening to music was legal avaga while you're riding. So
no, it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, I mean, I don't ride
you're not supposed to,
but
yeah.
I used to, maybe college, 2012, 2013, 2014.
So yeah. Now it's now they don't know, but a lot of people don't know, but it's not
it's legally, it's not allowed.
It's not allowed. Yeah. So avaga I used to listen to music, and I remember this one song, Rockstar alle fir se udchala, and there was this one song. This is my it's always my motivation song. So I remember this one day it was randomly played on my playlist, and that one moment I was like there is, it's like a graph. There's so much hunger in you, and there are no opportunities at all. Opportunities exist, but it's very difficult. You're not getting anything, and this hunger keeps increasing, and that's when you'll have one burnout. And I had that burnout during that ride. I started losing it. I start crying. Like if I passed right next to you, it'd just be like something like that. So
wow. There's nobody ever seen misery like that.
yeah, I was listening to Fir Se Ud Chala and Ud Chala bro. I was crying. ಅಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಐ ನೆವರ್ ಗೆಟ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸಮ್ 6 months ಐ ಪುಶ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಜಾಬ್, ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಡೂ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಅ ಪಾಡ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಅನ್ಪೇಯ್ಡ್ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ ಶೋ ಅಂತ. I spoke about unpaid interns. I did one jingle and all. In that radio station only, I knew the sound engineers and all. When the station heads aren't there in office, I would secretly record, and I would take my phone audio to record and all of that, put it together and all of that. And then I wrote one nice jingle and all. He has an internship that's not paid. As much as he loves to, he never gets laid. And ಹಂಗೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ರೈಮಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಬರೆಯೋಣ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಆಸೆ. ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ದ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ವೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್, ದೇ ಮೇಡ್ ಒನ್ ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ, ನೈಸ್ jingle and all. I did couple of episodes and that's when I got a call from Mirchi saying that, hey, listen, we are looking for producers, would you want to be a part of that? I was like, yeah. Bro,
I've been waiting.
Yeah. And so I went there and I gave my this thing and all. They were like, oh, we love the work and all. I was like, yeah, it took me a while, like 6 months. I learned a lot of things there and I'd want to be a part of this organization as well. And when they were like, no, you're not an RJ, you're a producer. You have to help an RJ. Don't just focus on being an RJ. You're a producer, focus on your RJ and see how that person can grow. And so 2 years after that, I just completely dedicated. RJ Jimmy Anta is a very sweet person. He's the reason why I'm into Mirchi as well. He does the morning show in 95 Mirchi. And so I got in there. And then Jimmy was is a huge part of my life. Sort of a guide as well. So I got to learn so many things. And
What was it about him?
Jimmy is a very veteran, very senior person in radio, been a part of most of the stations he's covered and he's seen radio, everyone knows who he is. But when I went there as his producer, I remember one of the first conversations we had was about his Instagram content, which I wasn't a fan of. And I was like, I sort of don't like your Instagram content. He's like, oh, you can fuck me over. If you don't like the content, you can give feedbacks about it. You can change the content. That humbleness. One age early, like after reaching so many different points and being there and being a big RJ and still being open to criticism and stuff like that, that somewhere made me like the person. And that's when I opened up and I was like, yes, I want to learn. And I did learn. Had my own failures, but I got to learn a lot of things. We did beautiful campaigns when I was a producer. Like if you go through Swami Vivekananda Metro Flyover, if you cross that during the COVID phase, we wanted to do something. It was Raksha Bandhan also. We wanted to do something for all these COVID warriors, which everyone did well. Were like people who deliver stuff, the cops, ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. So we tried Raksha Bandhan and all that. Because Raksha is Raksha, protecting you and all. Then I read this in the news back then that Mumbai Metro station, they did like a huge mural during the whole COVID phase. During the lockdown, they made a huge mural and that amused me. I went to Jimmy and I was like, Jimmy, can we do a big mural which is a tribute to COVID warriors? And the campaign was also called Lions of COVID. And so Jimmy was like, yeah, but like how do you want to do this and all? So I reached out to Metro. We reached out to Metro and we were like, if you're any of new upcoming stations, like can we paint and we want to make city's biggest mural as a tribute to COVID warriors and all. That was second leg of the campaign. And they were like, okay, yeah, sure and all. Then we got some paints clients on board. Finally, we got the entire team's work actually. Avagiddantaha 95 team. Aravani Art Project anta. These are a bunch of transgender women who are amazing artists. Now they're international and all. They're like with the paint. And you would have seen their work.
It came in the paper.
You've seen their work. Yeah, this came in the papers and you've seen their work across the city.
Very familiar about.
Yeah. So today this is like the biggest mural in the city as a tribute to COVID warriors. When you pass through Swami Vivekananda Metro Station, which is just before Baibnalli, you cross Indranagar and Swami Vivekananda Metro Station. Towards your right, you will see a huge wall with like lines of COVID and all of that. Ali Mirchi branding alla hakondidevi now. But I think it was kick ass, dude. We got scaffolding, and these women came. These guys came, and they painted. Oof, amazing. There are times when I pass through that road. I call it the wall crossing. Hashtag the wall crossing. Anta. Every time it's on my stories, like people know when it's wall crossing, they're like, oh, this wall anta. So there are times when I've just, because 6 months it took to just paint that wall, and it's just a wall painting, ashta. But it's so much to me. It meant so much to me. I've cried in between because things didn't work out. Metro didn't agree, and a couple of painters didn't want to be a part of this, and it's not working out at all. And the team together, all of us together, we were like, we have to make this work. And there are times when I pass through that wall, I just stop my bike, I just look at that, and sometimes I just tear up. I'm just like, oh my god, the amount of shit I went through to do this. And today, there are times when I've passed through the wall and people like see like this and all. I've seen one old uncle seeing like this, seeing the wall like this and walking and all. I was like, yeah, uncle, nane. So I've always, that's when I figured campaigns are very impactful on people. And so that was one learning that I got side by side. And then eventually I was working on content, and then when I realized,
just a little bit about that before we move on, right? The what I want to share about that with you is when you have good intent, it's usually hard. Yeah. So
very hard.
And that's what makes it beautiful, right? Like all your emotion that you were sharing even now is because it was that fucking hard.
Yeah. For sure.
If you have great intent, it's gonna be equally hard.
Oh, for sure.
This is pretty, because the negative forces have always had like a slightly higher, authority. The world is led by people not wishing the best for other people sometimes.
For sure.
Right? So when you have good intent, there are forces always working against you. And that's why we end up not measuring campaigns with good intent purely on numbers that it did.
Exactly. Today, when I see that mural, and I can't count numbers, and I can't tell you how many people have seen that mural. I can't put it on papers, but I know people have seen it. And that's amazing.
And that's enough.
That's enough. That is the real marketing. That's the real promotion. That's the real way of putting your awareness out, not measuring your awareness through numbers. It's very unfortunate today we measure every single thing, by good numbers or bad, by numbers.
Even art.
But yeah, the idea of art and the idea of awareness is to just give and let it be. Then don't do anything about it. Like, how much did you see? How much did you get? Better. That's what corporates have put it in our heads, saying that, oh, you have done so much work. How do I measure your work before your appraisals? That's when we started measuring the work, and numbers came in. Mugitu, life changed. Yeah. The numbers on is just it's there. That's a bigger rabbit hole. But
sure.
Otherwise, this campaign was a huge learning, and the impact it could create. That's when I realized, okay, we can do something massive as well.
So he was happy. Your RJ.
He was very happy.
Yeah.
He was very happy. Yeah.
Happy with your idea?
Yeah. So the idea of the mural, when I told it to him, so every single day my RJ would be in the studio. He would do a show. Nanu outside I would figure out interviews. Every single day we would put out some interview. Some news nota idde. I would do some research. I would like, can we call this person from BBMP about like this, some pothole, this thing is happening, or this protest is happening. Can we call this NGO? Can we call this actor? Can we call this funny person? Every single day we would discuss, and next day I would schedule an interview, and there would be one time gap of half an hour. Actually, I would edit interviews and all of that, and I would put it on air. And still every single day it would go. After that, when he's almost done with the show, I would go running to his studio saying, hey, can we do this video idea for you? Can we do this idea? I have this idea. You like the content? Couple of ideas worked out great. Couple of ideas were shitty, but he was still nice enough to agree and do the video ideas. So, similarly, like that, one of the days I went there saying, can we do one mural for this thing? Like Mumbai and all, I read this news. They've done one metro station mural. Can we also do one Bangalore's biggest mural or something? Ambition is it's just... amazing to be ambitious, dude.
Then you got your show.
Yeah. After that, it took its own time. I was just a good producer. It took a while, and then eventually, when I wanted to move out, say, because I used to put out Kannada content. That's when I started putting out Kannada content on my Instagram. Couple of times I did, and one of the videos got super viral back then. It was one of ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್. ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ವೈರಲ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ವೆಲ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಫಿಗರ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮೋರ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಇನ್ನೂ ಆರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಇನ್ ದಟ್ road safety campaign also. Or that Ramayana Mahabharata level boss, that is.
Just getting that together with people was amazing, dude. There are a couple of people kannada baralla kelu janrige alli. There are some North Indians. I saw. आपको नहीं चित्रगुप्त जी आपको नहीं आता है ಅಂತ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಹಿಂದಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು then there was one guy ಕನ್ನಡ ಹಿಂದಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅವನಿಗೆ ತೆಲುಗು ಅಂತೆ. ನೀಕು ಏನ್ చెప్తున్నాడు నువ్వు and all this Yama, this guy doesn't know. I'm looking at Yama, I'm like, bro, you know Telugu also, and that guy is laughing. He's like, Yama knows Telugu and all. Oh, it's amazing. So yeah, eventually that campaign happened, and then when I realized that Kannada is my space and I want to invest and do something in the Kannada industry, I want to apply outside. That's when I got an opportunity in 98 saying, hey, we have openings, do you want to come and try and all. So that's when I gave it a shot and it worked out great. Even before that I was thinking, I called my friends and I was like, RJ agbekante, like should I even, they were like, shut the fuck up. Couple of years back you were dying to become an RJ. Fir se ud chala and all happened. Now it's come. That's your fir se ud chala moment.
Abhi udne ka time aa gaya.
And so it's just that one cold feet before that. Yeah. And then somehow it worked out and I did become an RJ and it was so much fun, dude. After that a lot of things changed. The entire perspective changed. Like careers can change things. Like producer itself is different. When you become an RJ, that's a different perspective of the world. The amount of learnings every single day, even until today I've grown up listening to kick-ass RJs and I'm still learning stuff every single day. I get today I'm in a place where I get to hear a lot of good things from people and lesser bad things, but I still don't take both seriously. I'm like, yes, thank you.
Because it's not about that.
How? Yeah.
It's not about how many good and how many bad things.
Exactly. So when someone pinpoints and talks about something, I get very excited. When someone tells me, hey, your content is great, sikapade nagu barutte and all, I'm like, thank you so much, sir, very sweet and all. But when they say, Yamaraja did nodde adid madidralla, that campaign was very nice, I was like, thank you, you know that, like those things when they put an effort to talk to you alva, that is amazing. That is amazing. Really nice. Now there are so many fan moments and all I've crossed many times. It's crazy. My dad, who doesn't believe in radio, who's always was telling my ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರೋ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ರೇಡಿಯೋಲೇನೋ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೋ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾರು ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್, ಮಾತಾಡೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸನ ಸರ್ ಇದು, ಅದು ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇದು ಅಂತ they would make fun of it. They would be like, ಇಲ್ಲ RJ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗ ಅನ್ನೋದು. So all these things would happen. This one time ನಾನು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಅಣ್ಣ 4 ಜನ we were on our way to ಧರ್ಮಸ್ಥಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ on the highway we stopped at one of these hotels. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ತಿಂಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು my mom and my brother they've gone inside the car. ನಾನು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಅಪ್ಪ is just washing his hands and following me. ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ the couple of boys caught me and they were like, hey, I see your content and all. So that's when it started happening, where people started recognizing here and there, hey, I've seen your content, I love your content and all of that. ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್. I was like, thank you so much ಬಾಸು, very sweet, thank you ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಒಂದು ಫೋಟೋ ತೊಗೋಬೋದಾ ಅಂತ, ಲೈಕ್ ಯಾ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ we click a picture. ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಫೋಟೋ ತೊಗೊತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ನಡ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಾರೆ. And then he's just shocked. He's just like, oh, okay. And then I was like, thank you so much and all. Then he walks right next to me. 2 seconds silence. He's just like, why did they click picture with you? Who are you? So why did they click pictures with you? No, you're
adonu doubt
famous. Like what? Like then he was like, but you're still radio jockey andre they don't know your face, how do they know? And then I was like, illa like I do content also, they would have seen me here and there, and so that's how they know me and all of that. And then my dad goes to my mom, hange hogbittu ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಸೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, he goes to my ಯಾರೋ ಹೋಗಿ ಫೋಟೋಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕಣೆ ಅವನ ಜೊತೆ, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. My mom knows it already. My mom knows, like people listen to my moms know.
Moms get to know.
Dad and all didn't know about it, and that's when he realized. And now we are in a place where people call dad and tell, ಈ ಥರ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ದೆ and all. So now that pride and all is built up. One fort it's become. It was one small 1 BHK flat. Now it's a big fort, that pride. So that's amazing. They're very proud of all of that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. So little moments like these have happened. Like if someone looks at recognizes me on the road, talks to me about my content, clicks picture, it's great. I'm happy. But when they do it in front of my parents, I'll tell you where my parents are. Just come on. That validation is just, it's just toxic. But otherwise, when
validation is toxic. Nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. You eventually figure out. But I'm in the very new. Like ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ ರೆಕಗ್ನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಆ ಫೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೇರ್ ಎವರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ವೆಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೈ ಮಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್ ಡೇ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಮನ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ವಿತ್ ಮೀ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್. ಮೈ ಮಮ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ that's crazy. Like I went on a date with this one girl. The biggest flex, bro. I went on a date with this one girl way back. And during this date, there's some person around comes and talks about my content, clicks picture and all.
Too good.
I was just like, I mean, like, and so she was. So this one person comes up to me to click a picture and all. She's like, can I just take a selfie with you and all? Me, like one boss. I'm like, actually, give it to her. She'll click a picture. She's feeling it, alwa. She's holding the phone and all, and she's like, and I do all of that, and like, thank you, ma, all the best, ma. I full on extra humble voice, and thank you, ma, thank you so much, and all, thank you, and all of that. And then she's like, oh, yeah, guess who got laid? But
guess who's not cutting that?
Yeah, I've accepted this, but yeah, it's it's like different. Getting laid. It's worked out in different ways like that. Like a date is just a very small thing, but just parents seeing this and that's a yeah. No. That is not my biggest flex also. See, I'm a nice person. Otherwise, I'm a nice human.
No need.
Yeah. But I think that's what I think in the beginning of conversation itself, when you said Deepika said I was a nice person. That's one thing I've always feared. Actually, eventually, like a lot of people who would want to talk to me, hang out with me, they would just look at the work that I'm doing and ಆಚೆಯಿಂದ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಫ್ಲ್ಯಾಶಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೂಪರ್ ಗುರು ಒಂದು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಟು ಮೀ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ದ ವೇ ಐ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಅವೇ ವಿತ್ ದ ವರ್ಕ್ ಐ ಡೂ. ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್. ವೆರಿ ಫ್ಯೂ ಪೀಪಲ್ ನೋ ದ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ಫುಲ್ ಫಾರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನಾನು ಯಾವ ಥರ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ.
That's required, no?
Yeah.
Or else not a safe place to be.
Definitely
not. People will treat you in terms of what they think you are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Keep always, please keep people in their place, no matter what, how much ever close they are to you. Your life is anyway a priority. Your life is the first priority. Even if you don't agree, keep people in their place, even when it comes to your family, because certain things can ruin things for you ahead. And you are the only person who's going to be with yourself throughout in this journey. Yeah. So keep people in their place. Biggest t-shirt madisthani, keep people in their place anta.
You have siblings?
I do. I have an elder brother who's an engineer, mechanical engineering ಮಾಡ್ದ. So he works at
towards art and all of that.
Nothing. My dad was into music and he's into like he's more into satsangs and stuff like that. ಮನೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಸತ್ಸಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
Lovely.
And so I grew up with the whole idea of satsang and the whole ashram culture. I wouldn't want to name the ashram, but yeah, the whole ashram culture.
Scam.
I feel it's a scam, but I feel it's still a very nice, I mean it's a nice place and all, it has a good name, but deep inside ಒಂದು cult ಇದೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. So I still grew up in a nice place. Like I saw the ashram culture and satsangs, bhajans, ghazals, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು ನಾನು. And somewhere that also had an impact on me. And my dad, I've seen him sing in like a lot of bhajan.
You sing?
No, I don't. I tried, but didn't work. I tried and all. Your college full competition ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೆ, but no, it doesn't work like that. I went to music classes and all. Nothing. Sarigamapa, nothing. ಏನೂ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. Nothing.
ನೋಡ್ದೆ some post of yours was there when I was going through. ಏನೋ ನಂಬರ್ ಬರ್ದಿತ್ತು, participating in some audition, Or was that a joke that you put up?
Which one
It's
I
a
do?
post that you have years ago, 2017 maybe. 2017, 2018, one post you have. You know that audition paper that they give for people?
Right.
There is a number on it and it says season 3, something, something.
Yeah. I went to the ಸರಿಗಮಪ ಆಡಿಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
Yes, yeah.
ಫುಲ್ ತುಂಬ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಶಾಟರ್ಡ್. ಆಸ್ ಐ ಗ್ರೂ ಅಪ್, ಐ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಗುಡ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್. ಐ ರಿಯಲೈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕೇಪಬಲ್ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಐ ಫಿಗರ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಸ್ ಅ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಸಿ. ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ರಿವರ್ಬ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಏನೋ ಹಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ದೇ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಡೇಸ್ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐವ್ ಸೀನ್ ಗುಡ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ಸ್, ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಕಲ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ಸ್, ಹಿಂದೂಸ್ತಾನಿ ಸಿಂಗರ್ಸ್, ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಸಿಂಗರ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೊ ಐ ಸಾ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ನೋ ದಿಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಅಂದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ನೋಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲಕ್ಕಿಲಿ ಐ ವೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಅಪ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಜಾಬ್, ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಪೊರೇಟ್ ಜಾಬ್, ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ಸಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲೈಫ್. ಈಗ ಸಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಶೋ ಫಾರ್ ಯು?
The part when I talk to my listeners, it's amazing because I'm also expecting something fun, this conversation, and so are they already know me, so they call me and first they're very excited. They're like, oh my god, he picked my call and all that. And then I'm like, hey, how are you doing, how's your day going? All good. How's your day and all of that? I'm like, my day is great. And then I was like, tell me, I asked you some question about this, adar hinde eno one question kelirtene nanu, and they answer that, and then I've post that, they're like, no, I love your show. Post answering that, they're like, I love your show, I've been listening to you for so many months and all of that. That's the best part. When I get to talk to them alwa, it's amazing re. Like ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಶಿಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ, ಆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ, ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಒಳಗೆ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗ ಮೈಕ್ ಆನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಝೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದಾಗಿದ್ದೆ
ಫ್ಲೋಟಿಂಗ್.
ಯಾ ದ ಕಿಕ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಹೈ ಆಫ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್. ಆ ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಲೈನ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಖತ್ ಹಾಟ್ ಮಗ ಅಂತ, ಲೈಕ್ ಸಖತ್ ಹಾಟ್ ಮಗ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಟ್ ಒಂದು ಹಾಡು ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಐ ಲವ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ that goes back to Amit as a kid listening to radio at home, and my mom used to play radio, and that comes back here, and ಆ ಒಂದು adrenaline rush ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಖತ್ ಹಾಟ್ ಮಗ ಅಂತ ಫೇಡರ್ ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ oof.
And that's the thing, no? For moments like that, you're willing to go through whatever is required. For
sure. So there are people who call and they're like, sir ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಸರ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. I used to do afternoon show and all, they used to call me every day. There were people who would call. There was one person who would call me and he would write poems. ಇದು ಲೋಕಲ್ ಪೋಯಮ್ಸ್, like some there's this one person, I have a recording also, I will have to get it out, but these poems are like,
can we put it up here, posted it ಅಲ್ಲಿ?
Yeah, actually I'll find that and I'll send it to you. Like
ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಖತ್ ಹಾಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಜೆ ಅಮಿತ್ ಸಖತ್ ಕ್ಯೂಟ್, ಅವ್ರ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಸ್ವೀಟ್,
ಆ ತರದ poems. This is what I'm saying. And so this one guy would, like, he's a cab driver, so every single day he would compose one poem and he would be like, bro ನಿಮ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವತ್ತು ಒಂದು poem ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಬ್ರೋ. ಅದು like, ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Every single day he would call. So we have different characters like that who call us on a daily basis. There are drunk people who call also. There are people who call. Yeah, there are different kinds of people. There are some old people
on air. Have you put like a drunk person on air?
Drunk person illa. That's why we don't take listeners live at all. Just ಅದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡೆಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, just in case if they say something ಅಂತ. But there have been people who've suddenly been abusive and all on call. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು immediately. So otherwise there are different characters. There are older people, there are people who live alone and they have nothing other than radio. They listen to radio throughout the day and they send voice notes like every single day. Hi, ivat nan life alli idayitu, I was going through this and then this happened in life, so yeah, this was my day. Send voice note, leave it. Nan keliskonತೀನಿ, ನಾವು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಂತೀವಿ on this thing. We are a part of their lives. And so ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ, because I belong to the Gen Z era, when I joined radio, a lot of my friends even till today, radio, which station bro? Like, who listens to radio and all bro these days and all. The whole aux cable culture bandadmele, even while driving and with the whole music apps and all, it's great, which is amazing. We are growing tech wise, but I think radio is still giving you certain playlists you don't even expect. You make a playlist on your Spotify, you're listening to those songs. After one point of time you get bored of those songs. No, Spotify is great, they do their mixes and all of that, that's great. but there are certain songs from your nostalgia, from your like past, like 20 years
can't pull
ago.
out.
Yeah. And radio does that for you.
And exactly at the right time.
Yeah. Very random.
day, right
Yeah.
time,
Very
right-
random. Probably you're not listening to radio consciously. Your cab drivers turned it on. You're just sitting and you hear some RJ saying something very random. Probably second half of what he's saying you listen to. And he says something funny. Or he says something very random that can change things for you. Whatever mood you are in. And then that song plays. You're sorted.
The surprise element is what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
about. We'll just continue with just taking a quick minute. So in the RJs that I have known and looked up to and maybe even met here, right, including some of the names that you already know. You're probably like the youngest RJ that I have met.
You've made, okay.
I have met in the RJs I met, you're the youngest. What is your scene, boss? Like, see, I get the love for radio. I'm all for it. I also grew up with the same scene, like how you told about your mom, right? My mom also had like this cassette player. Like you won't believe, even today on the family group, we'll send like an old song. So the house that I used to live in, the number was D79. Okay. So we call it the D79 phase. Okay. So we lived there during my school.
Right.
We'll share like an old song and we'll be like, do you remember listening to this in the D79 phase? Because all my mom did was the stereo would be on through the day.
Yeah.
Morning she'd put it on maybe 6 a.m., 7 a.m. It would play till lunch.
Right.
Then she'll go to sleep, so it'll be switched off. Then evening she'll wake up around 5 o'clock, whatever. Again it'll switch on, it'll go on.
Right.
Till the middle, some serials and all will come. She'll not listen. But otherwise, those shows, we talk about that. So the love for radio is not gone. I think people still have it. And even now, like you said, that surprise element of radio and all of that, why people connect with it, and people who are alone or people who like the concept all listening to it. But yeah, the fact is, it's not what it used to be.
That's true.
The fact is, it's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
How does a 27-year-old look at it objectively? Saying, I love it, but it's not what it used to be. So how are you looking at it?
I think overall media companies and radio as a business as well it's definitely not what it used to be before. We don't make the same business anymore. We don't do the same marketing anymore. It's not as massive as it used to be. After the whole the digital era came in, it swept everything. And so everyone's moved digital. There are radio stations that move digital as well. Like you can listen to us digitally and all of that. My only I see this every single day. I know my audience actually. When my friends tell people of my age say I don't listen to radio, I'm okay with them. I'm like, it's okay. I am not on radio for this audience anyway. They are not my focus TG anyway. Social media, that's a different game. With radio, I know my set of people. I know people who are driving cabs who listen to it, or people who are traveling to work, they listen to it. I know people who are working at home, they listen to it. Manel adge ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ they listen to it. So various people. There are college students who have called me saying that ನಾನು ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, back last bench ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. So I'm listening to your show and all. They've called me and they've told stuff like that. So I think the love for radio, we are a creamy layer which is exposed to digital, OTT, everything. We are like a 10% of this thing. Mass audience anta bandaga, people who travel to work, people who do daily wage jobs agirbodu, athwa in rural places, people still depend on radio. That's the only reason why I'm saying this, not because I work for a radio station, but I genuinely feel radio won't die. There will be some upgrade. Radio sayalla.
Is there a chance for redemption? Go by the way, by redemption it almost feels like I've killed radio. I'll get shit for that. Redemption meaning going back to the masses the way
it used to be. Terrestrial radio probably not, to be very honest. Because the new phones that you get, hosa Android phone ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ default radio apps illa. There are people who text me saying that default radio. So these radio companies are also fighting a case with the Supreme Court saying, can we get radio to be a default app on all these phones? iPhone alilla. ಐಫೋನಲ್ಲಂತೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ
ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ?
ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ದ ಟೆರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಬೈ ಅ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ outside. So that's an effort. That's probably why. So these companies, all of these guys play a role in growth and fall of radio as well. And so phone also was a big deal alba. Back in the day phone allu kediskonta idvi radio na. So that's become a thing. My mom, there was a phase where nammane radio stereo halagbitittu. So then she actually had an old phone. New phone doesn't have radio. That old phone she's kept only because of radio. She connects her earphones and she listens to radio. And so that way, it is definitely difficult to get terrestrial radio back to what it was. Unless it's something big happens. Like, I think when Mann Ki Baat happened, when the Prime Minister addressed the country on Mann Ki Baat, eventually it was different. But in the beginning, a lot of people tuned in. A lot of people actually tuned into radio or whatever. Leaving everything else aside, just getting the traction, the traction was huge across the country when that happened for the first time. First few episodes, at least a lot of people tuned in. And so probably something massive that happens on radio and our update radio nal matra sigutte anta irodralle probably then people will tune in because radio literally started with like during war and your war updates eeg sigo score updates. So avag war updates ittu enen aagta ide, that update you would hear on radio. So something like that is difficult. Radio is there are a lot of listeners are passive listeners. So terrestrial radio probably won't come back, but digital radio will boom. I'm pretty sure digital will do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Actually, there can be. And I'm sure the work is happening towards it.
Yeah, it is. A lot of companies have moved digital. A lot of international radio stations like Kiss FM and a lot of international English radio stations are online.
Station called Kiss FM?
Yeah. Kiss FM is pretty famous.
Yeah.
And so many stations like these also function online. So you can listen to them. There are certain apps you can download to listen to them. So it's great. It's amazing.
So coming back to Amit.
Yes, sir.
Radio illandre, what is the scene?
Wow. Existential
all
crisis.
This is like how, like nimge in 5 years I'll show you video anta.
Oh, athara. Radio illa andre what is the scene antana? I see myself in the content space itself, like the foundation.
You're pretty at this content thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I've noticed in this interview, it's very close to your heart.
Yeah,
like
it is.
The entertainment through content.
Yeah.
You're not casually doing this.
Yeah.
It means a lot to you.
I'm very serious about it.
Man.
And someday, it's too early, I'm learning. Someday I'd want to take it on the big screen as well. But that'll take a while. As probably, I'm also learning. I can't say I'm learning also. I'm just very new.
So,
very new in terms of directing stuff and all of that. But I'd want to act as well.
Yeah.
I'd want to learn and act as well.
That seed is there.
That is there. That acting, that kida itself is there. But direction, that seed is there to learn what to do. Assistant director agi kaltkobeku. Not like to. I just want to learn direction anyway. I don't want to learn direction to become a big director someday or whatever. That I'll leave it to fate. But I just want to learn it. That's one art. It's so interesting, like how people get things together and all of that. It's very difficult. It's a dog's job, but I want to learn. I definitely want to learn. So the thing is, with a lot of Gen Zs, very fortunately,
You are not Gen Z, boss.
97 is Gen Z. 97 is actually the border of Gen Z and a millennial.
So that's what, because you are a clear mixture.
Yeah. It's a mixture of Gen
He
Z.
is Gen Z.
He's
You and him are not the same.
It was a two people conversation.
You are actually a mixture.
A mixture of both. Yeah. So I feel very fortunately we've grown up with privilege. Appa Mandro, back in like 80s or 90s, when they started hustling, the game was different. And they've given us something basic. One house, shelter, food and all they've given us. The idea is to make use of it and see what all you can experiment until you can. Until you start getting those responsibilities in life, or I don't know what life will change into, commitments ಏನೇನು ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ I'm saying take advantage of the privilege for what you do with your dreams and with your ambitions. Do that. Make use of that. it's very inspiring to see someone who came from nowhere, who's a bus driver's son, who's an auto driver's son, who's a bus conductor, today is a big star and all of that. They didn't have it, and that hunger was more. Today we have it, and I genuinely feel the hunger should be even more to do something more. I think eventually ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಸೋಂಬೇರಿಗಳು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ನಾವು ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. It's okay to take breaks, it's okay to understand life and all of that, but I feel the lack of interest ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಮರ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ what we always dreamt of. And
what it means.
Yeah, like we used to dream, dude. What happened to that? Why did we stop dreaming? That's what is. I know we're privileged, we have a good life, we can like tumba yochne madde, I can watch something on Netflix, eat and sleep, but just one single thought about what am I doing ahead?
I mean, it's like this, no? Beligge edbittu you'll feel, no, I'll say I want to be the number one podcast in the country. Let's say I feel that in the morning. By evening, a lot of things would have happened.
Yeah. Little metaphor to life. Yeah.
I mean, now you can, and then if your mom's possibly made some really good food, and you've not watched the latest season of a certain series, you know what, I worked pretty good. Nale nodana.
Sure.
So somewhere that nale nodana used to not be there. As an option.
Before.
Nale, if you get food only, it's
a big deal. How though?
Now food is what now? Food is, you'll eat for the rest of your life.
For sure.
So, yeah, I mean, it depends. Again, it's that's the thing of privilege.
With hustle is toxic, I know. Hustle culture is toxic. It makes people mad also. There is a toxic side of hustling also. You can't always keep thinking about work and what you have to do and all. It will make you go mad. That is there. But I genuinely feel we've been taking gaps, and eventually life has become that gap right now. We are like, okay, fine, it's okay and all of that. Sometimes I go back to the first time, the radio station where I work for. Sometimes when I'm entering the gate and all, there are a couple of times I've actually stood by. I do cliche things like this. I've actually stood by near the gate, and
I think we all do.
Yeah.
You are just openly talking about it. Like our days are filled with cliche things.
Yeah. It's fun, dude.
Yeah,
so
makes things more interesting, emotional. You feel like you're part of a movie.
I'm saying feel life. It's there. There are things around you. Feel it, dude.
Feel it. It's nice.
Can't
to
be
see
numb
it.
to everything. Yeah.
Put different lenses on different things.
Exactly.
Enjoy it.
Yeah. And so
smoke some weed in the middle and look even.
feel it more.
Promoting it.
But I think I've just stood by the gate sometimes, and I'm like, the first time when I came here, that intense level of hunger, madavek life alli, I finally got this job. It's a big, actually interview hogbekare I was struggling. I was like shivering. I'm like, hengaru job sikkare saku anta. I sometimes go back to that place, and somewhere it pushes me again. That's the problem right now. Lack of motivation. Yellow motivation sikta illa.
Yeah.
Motivation sometimes comes from jealousy. And okay, fine, it's motivation, but that is not your everyday motivation, is what I'm saying. From jealousy, it'll come, bro. It'll stay for 2 hours. And then, like mom cooks good food, Netflix series, sorted. But I feel for an everyday grind within you, you'll have to find that. And you, all of us, I'm pretty sure we are in the same process of finding that grind.
Tell you this other issue that happens, right? So say you went through some fuck up in your life. Now, either you face this phase of anxiety, or some girl broke your heart and you lost some money, whatever it is. So now you'll get more philosophical.
Right.
You'll try to see life in a different lens. So your goal is, how do I be content?
Right.
How do I get into a Zen state of mind? That is where it starts. This is also double-edged sword. Now slowly you'll get more wise. As you grow up, you'll get more wise. As you get wiser, you're like, wait, hold on, my priority is to be content. I'm heading towards that. But on the other side, I'm doing lesser work. But I remember I had those big dreams.
Yeah.
So what about that?
Yeah.
So then you again.
Dude, I think, sometimes I go back and I wonder that did I really have to be aware about so many things?
Yeah, bro. Otherwise, you would have been even.
ಆರಾಮಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ. Like,
Yeah.
I feel sometimes when I go through the rural side and when I see a farmer just doing his thing, finishing everything, going back to his, I mean, he has his own set of problems, issues and all of that, but he's at least content. We are not even close to 1% of that one content. And then eventually when I start growing up, when I grew up in the woke culture, woke was a very big deal back in the
Ivaglu.
it keeps happening. So I started understanding every single thing, and one is understanding. You hear about mental health issues, one is seeing how it works for you. Illi service nodbeko. So when I start getting aware of things and getting aware of things of how I feel, how I react, that's when in the beginning it was like, okay, great, I'm in command, I'm very aware. If I go through such situations, I know what to do. But then the amount of thoughts it gives you, dude, it's just crazy. Sometimes I just feel like I just want, kids are just so peaceful, dude.
Yeah.
That's Zen mode. I'm just saying it's the reverse way ashte.
Yeah.
But I think as you get older, people are calmer because it's just they've seen things in life and probably their mind doesn't want to think so much. So I think
But yeah, I do feel at some point, right, you'll figure out that balance of hustle and chill.
yeah
It comes little by little.
Yeah.
But I think if you're on that path, you'll understand
For sure.
how much I want to chill, how much I want to hustle,
yeah.
what I'll be okay with.
Yeah.
And like really be okay with.
For sure. That
Not
balance.
like,
That's true.
But
That's true.
it takes time.
Yeah. This is I'm 27. This is also the age gap where I'm aware of that also. I'm like, this is also the
Bro,
age
this is
where
a
I
lot for
feel
20.
like...
I'm 30. This is a lot for 27. Like,
what is a lot for 27?
bro, no, not many 27-year-olds speak this way, bro.
Speak this way, okay.
They are not as aware as you.
It's a part of the exposure. No, when it comes to even chilling, sometimes it's involuntary within me. I have no control on chilling. There are times when I've just chilled for days and I'm like, fuck it. Then I just come out and I'm like, oh shit, what are you doing? And then I come out and all of that. So that also happens. That's also a part of life. But that age, it's that boiling blood, that age, and you'd always want to do something. It pulls you down and it makes you want to do something. That adrenaline rush adella irutte. But then I think eventually when you figure things out, yeah, it's that balance is where we all head towards. And so, yeah.
I do feel this is not the side of you on the show.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
This is not even the side of you that you show your fans or...
No.
You know... yeah, it's two different personas.
It's a very heavy conversation anyway to have.
Yeah.
On radio and everything, people are dealing with shit already.
Yeah.
On radio, they would want themselves to feel entertained by something or something soothing.
They don't want to address truth.
Yeah, address truth. That's everywhere. There's television, radio, everywhere. So it's just like talk about love stories, talk about something commercial concepts.
Yeah.
And so they would definitely, if I spoke this on radio, the next day they would tune me out. Next day. Yeah. So there are different sides of all of us. So I think every single place brings out a different side of you. You're more comfortable, you open up, you have better conversations.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there are different sides. And I'm really glad I had this conversation. This because I had so much fun during the conversation also. So
no, I mean the way I look at it, right? And there's a reason I asked you that in terms of why this persona is different on radio and here it's when I started this out, for me, I think like even today, yeah, reels have done well and all of that, but I still get a lot of macha in episode ge, include some food challenge, include
oh yeah, clickbaity stuff, jana nodtare
stuff. And like, see, boss, I started this to really, I don't say this arrogantly, I didn't start this to entertain people. I started it to have great conversations. Like, there are things I want, bro. Like, speaking to you, I got a lot of things. Like, now I'll go home. Like, there'll be few things that you said that I'd like to ponder on. I want to see it from your lens. I want to see what I can take from that. Bro, that gives me rush, bro.
Like, absolutely.
The context setting that you did, where you come from, and that makes a change in me.
Right.
That makes a change in how I see things. things. So yeah, bro, for me, I find happiness in going deep into those stories.
Definitely.
Right? And I understand it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I understand that it's conversations like this that have changed my life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It is. And I know that these conversations I've seen now, after doing 100 episodes, I know that though the numbers are less for long format, for example, we have recorded for 1.5 hours. Very few people who listen, but those people, lifelong, bro, they'll not forget.
Will not forget. Yeah, for sure.
They'll quote us better than us.
Yeah. Just that one little snippet of one conversation they've heard throughout in the overall interview could change a lot of things. It could.
So, I mean, in a way, that's what you are doing with radio, right? Now, there are certain reasons you do it for. Bro, your soul connects with certain things only, bro.
Yeah.
Now, you have not chosen that.
That's true.
It's your duty.
Yeah.
Alva. So, it feels like that. And that's why I know that you can relate to it.
Definitely.
You'll accept the things that don't work for radio, but your soul connects to it. What the fuck can you do about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you mentioned, conversations are so important in life in general, I feel. A lot of us don't have enough conversations. We are very fortunate to be to do what we're doing, basically. Be it my job or be it the podcast that you're doing, you get to meet a lot of people. I get to meet a lot of people on a daily basis. I get to understand perspectives and where they come from and all of that, different egos, different mentalities, all of these things we see. People in general don't get to see people like that.
And they're struggling. They're struggling in shells.
Yeah.
Bro, the number of people I see struggling in shells only because they have not approached other people.
Yeah.
Just speak.
It's just that. Yeah.
Reach out.
Exactly.
That shell will blast like
I
this.
just feel communication skills has to be a subject from school only. I feel from school itself, because I think literally your entire life stands on communication. No matter which job you are in, you'll have to market yourself. You need communication, and I think that is very important. You teach them languages, you teach them other subjects and all, great, but teach them communicating. You've taught them theory, practicals yaar ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. So communication is very important. College is also not enough. Start it from school so that they are good conversationalists. Have good conversations with people ahead. So yeah.
So just going back to that question about you having the seed of directing and acting, I really hope that comes through for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'd want to host under anchoring. I'd want to do a lot of bigger shows as well. There are too many things, too many ideas, too many dreams. And I can dream, so ashte sadhyake. But I'm also working towards it in bits here and there with whatever time I get. But I would want to do something full-fledged and give my everything to what I do. And I think this is a great start. Radio is a great start. Even before radio, theater is a great start for me as a foundation itself for everything. For like, I'm sure every actor, RJ agirle, actor agirle, or someone else, some other profession, most of them will have a theater foundation. And that's like the basics where people learn to act, to sing, to do whatever you want to do. And so I think I've started off with a good foundation, and radio also has humbled me, taught me a lot of things, how to deal with people in general. So that is a bigger game. Cinema and all, dealing with people is a bigger game. So here I've gotten to learn all of that. So idu ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇದು.
All the RJs that have ever known you or know you or heard your work, they'll all agree that in the history of radio jockeys, if there was ever anybody who had the biggest opportunity, it's you. Because it's by you, I mean the phase at which you started and the phase at which you are in. Basically, this batch of RJs, they'll say they are the luckiest ones. The world says opposite. Let me explain how I look at it, right? The world says opposite. Like, this batch of RJs have it really bad. Like,
the big days are,
this and that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the veterans look at it the other way, because they'll say, you're not only getting the exposure and experience of being an RJ, but you have this whole world to explore. Your radio station now will not get in the way if you tell them you had this brand approach you for a certain show or this and that. and you want to put your name on it. It's not really associated with the organization you work for. And those are opportunities maybe they were not
Oh,
there.
definitely. Back then, yeah. The amount of opportunities are super high right now. I think that's something how fast people are achieving things also, no? That graph is like instant, pat, anta, they're growing. So that's crazy. The amount of opportunities, that's great. Yeah, makes complete sense actually.
Thanks, man.
That actually, I never thought of it this way actually.
Yeah. No,
That's
they'll
great.
all agree. I'm sure. Like,
Yeah.
they'll look at you as the guy who needs to shine.
Yeah.
They'll look at you and say, Macha, this guy needs to really represent us. Because you are almost their best chance. This is what they have, right?
Yeah.
This is all those years of work, and it's come to certain people, including RJ Amit.
Yeah.
So now you all represent this community, how you all speak about it, the narrative you all maintain, where you take it.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow, 10 years down the line, whatever Amit becomes, he'll still say, there is radio that made me
what
and
I
that will
am.
continue to make radio special.
Definitely.
And bro, it doesn't
For
take
sure,
too long.
for
I mean,
sure.
you spoke about digital radio, right? None of us are smart enough to predict the future of that.
For sure.
And just think of digital radio becoming like a big thing in 5 years.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, bro, where did this
happen? Yeah. For sure. You never know what can change things. It depends on your clients, your brands.
Yeah.
Brands are okay with terrestrial. We are here on terrestrial.
Yeah.
No brands, okay, fine, we'll move with you to digital. That's where you'll come. It's companies, corporates basically operating everything literally in this world. But I think that's such a nice perspective to think of also. Because I think in the era of dying medium, we are all trying to carve our own path. And it's fun. There are times when we don't know, like ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆರ್ಜೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮುಗ್ದೋಯ್ತು, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. So that's when that's what there's so many things to do, so many opportunities these days to do. So it's amazing. You'll survive, dude. You'll survive. The idea is to reach your dream. Somehow survive and somehow make it there ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. If monetary, financially, if you're stuck somewhere, okay, find a job, do something. Don't stop dreaming ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Somewhere keep connecting the dots and make it.
Thanks, Amit.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. This was so much fun. So I think we spoke a lot. We spoke for an hour and a half. But it was amazing. It was fun.
No, you're a sweet guy, bro. This is literally like, I mean, again, like you said, no, there's so much only you can judge from the content. I'm just glad to have met you.
Yeah, definitely.
Know you now.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling we'll hit off with greater conversations.
Yeah, bro.
As friends ahead, we should.
100%.
It's amazing.
What I really liked is how aware you are about the work you've put in on the mental health side of yourself, right? Because it, we didn't dig too deep, but it's clear that you've had your fair share of fuck-ups. Like, a fair share of going through bad phases, rough phases.
For sure.
And I really want to applaud the fact that you spoke about it so openly, right? Because when someone accepts that this is how hard it has been, that's not easy. That means some work is already done. Acceptance
comes from the past, and it's about the future also. Accepting future fuck-ups also. So being ready for that also. So that's also there. The minute you said applaud, I thought of ನಮ್ಮ ರೇಡಿಯೋಲೆಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ. Immediately we have an SFX on clapping SFX. Like super, congratulations, and we'll play that shit. It's called a hotkey on radio. Hotkey ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. It's like immediate SFXs we'll have immediately. Someone's talking something, I can keep different. Like Abba Latri, congratulations brother, I have different SFXs. Play it immediately.
You know those.
Yeah. Whatever they say, according to that vibe, I'll play that SFX right there. So that it reminded me of that. But I think coming back, I think it was so much fun. Thank you so much for having me though.
Yeah, all the best, man. I think there's a really interesting journey ahead of you. I think over the next few years, really I feel there's a lot we're going to see, because like I said, right, meeting a RJ is 27. Now the course of your career is going to be really like mysterious. Like, you know.
No, it is. How the?
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. That's
Because I don't know where it's going.
Yeah. It's when you said mysterious, I just took it like that. Like it is mysterious, yes.
It is.
But good or bad, we'll see.
No. I think it'll be all good.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to leave you with is, we all suffer because of art. We all suffer art, bro. If you're pursuing art, we all suffer because of it. But I have learned and I've experienced that the people who really genuinely follow art and make decisions aligned with it have a more spiritual connection with it.
For sure.
It's not, you're not alone because those decisions give you so much pain as well.
Yeah.
And you sometimes think, no, bro, like I really didn't choose all this. Like the reasons I chose it with, give me a lot of happiness, but I didn't know these things are coming with it. So somewhere I always feel if you're true to your art and if your intent is right, there is something spiritual about it. So there's power, bro, with you. You don't have to. Like, you don't have to take it all on yourself. I think things will sort out. Like, also enjoy it more.
Yeah, that's all.
Enjoy it more because you're anyway in it now.
Yeah. Might as well
fucking enjoy it, man. And I think then things start to get beautiful. Because you just become lighter. You're like, macha, you ne kalsid nange illi. You get what I'm saying?
I know.
He only put in the thought in my head. He only gave me the strength to go for that interview, speak to these people. Now I'm sitting here with this little success, but I have a lot of pain in my heart. But okay, I guess he has a plan.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Kansta illa, but barutte. And I just
it'll just happen.
Yeah.
It'll automatically. That's just life. But
so stay true. All the best.
Oh, definitely. That's such a wonderful note to end the podcast as well. But thank you so much for having me. There is a lot of takeaways that I also have from this podcast. So thank you so much.
And I'm sure I don't know, bro. I have a feeling we'll work together.
For sure.
I don't know on what, where.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're 27, I'm 30. We have big dreams. We both are middle class, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. Branding. Yeah.
We have a long way to go. I really hope we get to work together in some professional setup at some point. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Keep making content. It's hard to keep entertaining people in times that are not easy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going through things yourself as well. So kudos to that. And we'll see you when you're back here or
definitely. The whole 5-year plan that you have. In like 5 years, probably you'll bring up this conversation. I think that's amazing.
I mean, I'm sure we'll bring it up right here when you're back.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something new that you have done and let's get you here and discuss.
Yeah. Some campaign I would have done. Yama Chitragupta Tara, something I'm sure something I would have done.
Do include us. I want to be part of something wherever we can come help. I think we'd love to just come and be part of it. Like give you whatever help you want.
Definitely.
It'll just be fun. Like I just want to work with you, bro. Like I don't know.
We'll work. Pakka. We'll work. We'll work on something. I want to find fun in work, and the minute I figure out something, I'll let you know. So
this was episode number 102. Man, like every time we do this, it just makes us think so differently, and this was definitely eye-opening for me. Amit spoke his heart out as much as possible. I think he would have continued to if we did. But it's always appreciated. If you enjoyed this, if you've watched till here, definitely let us know. You'll be one of those very few ones. We definitely want to know if you've watched till here. And keep supporting Amit. Keep supporting this podcast. We're dreamers with true intentions. We have a long way to go.
We're real.
We're real.
Real people.
We'll see you on the next one. Thank you.